Jinger Duggar Vuolo, once a key face in 19 Kids and Counting, is now 31, expecting her third baby and leaning on a somewhat surprising confidant, her younger sister, Jinger Duggar Forsyth. Why Joy, you ask? The short answer: both are soon-to-be or already are mothers of 3, juggling pregnancies and parenting at the same time. But of course, with a family this large and occasionally tumultuous, the story is anything but simple. So, settle in as we explore how Ginger's referencing Joy for guidance, how the siblings keep in touch across state lines, and what it means for the famously strict environment they grew up in. Along the way, I'll fill you in on Ginger's reaction to discovering her baby's gender, her hush-hush approach to baby names, and how she's balancing new motherhood after years in reality TV's glare. When people interviewed Jinger, she explained that she's been calling Jinger a lot, primarily because they're in the same season. Ginger's prepping for baby number 3, while Joy already has 3 kids, Gideon, Gunnar, and Evelyn. Though Joy is 4 years younger, Jinger says she feels like she's an older sister, presumably because she's ahead in the motherhood game, wrangling a small crowd of kiddos. If you've watched the Duggars for years, you'd have expected Jinger, one of the older daughters, to be the go-to expert. But times change, roles flip, and Jinger is the one absorbing Joy's day-to-day wisdom on all things child-related. Remember the days of 19 Kids and Counting, when cameras followed Ginger's every move? She, along with most of her siblings, spent years showcasing big family life, with Jinger eventually stepping away from the show's overshadowing environment to find her own footing. After the series ended, largely tied to the controversies around her brother Josh, Jinger charted a new path. She married Jeremy Vuolo, moved to Los Angeles, and started sporting jeans instead of the old Duggar-approved skirts. Now, expecting her third child, she's savoring the freedom of shaping her life and motherhood on her own terms. Meanwhile, her sister Joy remains in Arkansas, raising her brood with a supportive husband, Austin Forsyth. The two worlds converge through phone calls and FaceTime, bridging the geographical gap with frequent chats about toddler tantrums, meal planning, and pregnancy aches. Jinger and Jeremy announced in October that they're expecting a third child in March. They've already got 2 daughters, Felicity and Evangeline. So discovering it's a boy caught Jinger off guard. She told Entertainment Tonight that she almost fell off her chair from shock, given how she felt the pregnancy mirrored her previous 2. Yet here she is, grappling with a foreign idea of a son after welcoming 2 girls first. One moment she's praising the relaxed vibe, calling it a relief not to be super pregnant in the scorching summer. The next moment, she's giggling about how to integrate a boy into a household of sisters. Talk about an emotional roller coaster, equal parts comedic and thrilling. One hallmark of Ginger's approach is her decision to keep the baby's name quiet until after the birth. She explained that revealing it too early can lead to a slew of unsolicited opinions. Then once the baby's here, everybody thinks it's the cutest name ever, Jinger laughed. Fans might recall how some siblings have faced name backlash in the past, Ginger's simply dodging that bullet. It's reminiscent of how the older Duggar girls sometimes withheld name details. For Jinger, it feels like one more way she can control her narrative after decades of life in the public eye. She's open about certain aspects of her journey, but firm on keeping a few details private. So, why Joy, specifically, as the main confidant? Doesn't Jinger also have older sisters like Jana, Jill, or Jessa who've been through pregnancy multiple times? Possibly, but it's Joy's closer alignment of child ages that seems crucial here. Joy's kids are all under 7, meaning she's knee-deep in the same toddler stage that Ginger's about to deepen into. Jill, for instance, might be in a different place, focusing on older kids, and Jessa has her own style. Meanwhile, Jana hasn't announced any pregnancies, so the day-to-day toddler chaos is presumably less familiar to her. Joy's the perfect fit for the immediate tips, like, how do you handle multiple tantrums at once when you're pregnant? Or, which stroller fits 3 kids without turning grocery runs into nightmares? In addition to her baby news, Ginger's also penned a book, People Pleaser, released on January 14th. The title alone suggests she's grappling with boundaries, seeking to free herself from always catering to outside opinions, whether that's from family expectations, fans, or the religious environment she called disturbing in earlier interviews. So, in the midst of pregnancy and family calls, she's also juggling book promos, interviews, and possibly events. It's a hefty load. Yet she credits her sister's support for helping keep her sane. She calls them a blessing, emphasizing how easy it is to jump on FaceTime to chat about everything from writing stress to new baby gear. In a sense, Jinger's forging a brand new identity. Mother of 3, author, outspoken about stepping away from certain fundamentalist teachings, still cherishing the better parts of her large family bond. That synergy might be why so many watchers remain fascinated. She's bridging the old and new, the conventional and the rebellious, all at once. Joy, with her unwavering practicality, might anchor Jinger when she's uncertain. That's the kind of sisterly interplay that fans find both heartwarming and revealing. Within the broader family, there's a baby boom brewing for 2025. Jedediah and Katey just welcomed twin daughters. Jinger is expecting this boy. Jeremiah and Hannah are also set to welcome their third child, and watchers suspect more announcements could emerge from siblings like Jessa or even Jill, though Jill has taken a more boundary-driven route with limited postings about her personal life. This environment is a far cry from counting on days, when cameras rolled to capture birth after birth. Now, it's more self-driven, each sibling deciding what they reveal, how often, and to what extent. That means we might get a thorough view of Jinger's postpartum journey, or she might quietly share a photo after a few weeks. Some watchers question if Jinger might rejoin reality TV, maybe through a new spin-off focusing on her California lifestyle with Jeremy. But as she told People, she's currently not interested in stepping back into a show reminiscent of Counting On. She appreciates certain memories, like traveling with the old film crew, but acknowledges life has moved on. Her siblings are scattered, the filming environment has changed, and her schedule is about to get busier with a third child. So for now, she's channeling her energy into the podcast with Jeremy, the book, and sporadic social media updates that let her connect with fans on her own terms. The impetus for a large-scale reality revival just isn't there. With March rapidly approaching, Jinger's day-to-day is likely filled with last-minute baby preps. She teased how the pregnancy is the same as the girls in certain ways, so the news that it's a boy rattled her a bit. But she's adapting, even if the idea of managing a brand new set of boys' clothing and bridging 2 sisters plus a baby brother is unfamiliar territory. She's also playing around with potential names, but keeping them secret until after his arrival, her go-to method for facing less judgment. So watchers can expect a sweet baby reveal or a tasteful photo set on Instagram, maybe featuring Jinger's older daughters holding their infant brother. And yes, Joy might be among the first to see him digitally, offering big sister little sister tips on juggling 3 tiny humans. So, what's the takeaway? In the midst of a fast-paced life, promoting people pleaser, raising 2 kids, prepping for a third, living far from family, Jinger remains tethered to her sibling support, particularly Joyanna's. It's testament to how these Duggars remain connected despite controversies, geographic separation, or differences in how they interpret old family teachings. Joy might be younger, but her hands-on experience with 3 kids makes her a guiding force. For Jinger, it's a reassurance that she's not facing uncharted motherhood alone. For fans, it's a charming reminder that these sisters, once lumped together in a giant reality show, continue forging relationships that evolve with each new milestone. All right, my wonderful viewers, that's it for this big scoop on Jinger and Joyanna's synergy in the face of motherhood, the sweet shock of Jinger's baby being a boy, and what it means for the extended Duggar clan. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you appreciate seeing younger siblings stepping up as mentors? Or do you think Jinger will eventually carve her own motherhood style unaffected by Joy's tips? Please share in the comments, and if you got something out of this analysis, make sure to like and subscribe so we can keep diving into these deep realities together. I'm Julie, signing off until next time. Stay curious, stay kind, and see you soon.